Temple Academy Daycare and Learning Center is currently enrolling children 6 weeks to 12 years of age. Our professional staff is dedicated to provide a safe, fun-filled learning atmosphere. Temple Academy offers services during the spring, summer, and winter breaks. Temple Academy also accepts 4Cs applicants and offers a child referral incentive program. Call today to transform your child's daycare experience from ordinary to extraordinary.
Here is to you, an invitation, it is for you, a celebration, this is your day, Christ Temple welcomes you. There's no mistake, you are supposed to be here, and yes, he knows all you are going through, so he's prepared, Christ Temple just for you. This is the place we lift up Jesus, this is the place we share our love. This is the place we learn to live. Christ Temple welcomes you. This is the place we lift up Jesus. This is the place we share our love. This is the place we learn to live. Christ Temple welcomes you
And then, because of the mystery of the love of God, somebody say love of God. The Lord has not only given us, this don't make sense. The Lord has not only given us the privilege to know him, he has also given us the right to dismiss him and diss him. You don't have to serve him if you don't want to. You have a perfect right to be wrong. What a mighty God we serve. So it is then that relationship is everything. And yet, how many of us really know each other? You can spend a lifetime with a person only to discover that you don't know them. Just because you live with a person, sleep with a person, eat with a person, does not mean you know them. And unfortunately, we have a tendency to form binding lifelong contracts with people that we have physical attraction to, but we don't really know them. All we know is that Judy has an enormous booty, and I'm drawn to that. But she may not love your God like you do. Samson went down to Timnah and there saw a fine Philistine girl, and his desire caught on fire. And he went back and demanded of his parents, make the marriage contract. His parents tried to warn him. He said, boy, son, come on now. She's a Philistine. That's what you was raised up to destroy. Can't you find a saved girl? Must you always be attracted to just the hoochie mamas? Come on, son. But it was too late. His nose was already open. And the Philistine girl didn't know him. She didn't even know his God. And she couldn't connect to his mission. All she saw was those six-packs and those 21-inch python and those thighs. Oh, my God, those thighs of Samson. And she said to herself, I don't care that he is a Jew boy. Break me off a piece of that. But after she got what she wanted, she betrayed him back to the Philistines. And Samson said, if you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle. The truth of the matter is that she'd always been a heifer. He just found it out. I just come to tell you, make sure whoever you hook up with, you and her, you and them have the same values. Sometimes you don't know the person. Jacob lives and Jacob preaches about the one God Jehovah. And he assumes because he sleeps with Rachel that she knows his heart and he knows her heart. But although she listened to him about Jehovah God, idolatry was still in her heart. And because he didn't know her, he had no awareness and was absolutely shocked to find out that on their way out of Syria, Rachel stole her father's gods. She had idolatry in her heart, and he didn't know it. And when I looked at that scripture, I came to the conclusion that this is not the first time of Jacob being, somebody say, dumb in the spirit. Because acquaintances are not on the same level with the intimacy of a relationship. Because a true, vibrant, and strong relationship gains its strength and resiliency by virtue of the test and the trial and the hell that both of y'all walk through together. But you got it twisted and you think the fire is meant to destroy you. But baby, what don't kill you will only make you stronger. Jacob found God and established a lasting relationship in the desert of the Pandanaram. You know what the Pandanaram is? It is a stretch of hundreds of miles of nothing but desert. And he concluded before he went to sleep that God could not be in that place. And so he woke up after having his dream and scratched his head and said, wow, God was in this place. Somebody shout, this place. God was in this place. And I didn't even recognize it. He then receives a remarkable revelation, y'all. It's in Genesis 28 and verse number 16. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and he was afraid. And he said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God. And this is the gate to heaven. Now, there was no temple in the desert. There was no church in the desert. So what was the house of God and what was the gate to heaven? It's this seemingly barren, God-forsaken place. The gate of heaven is what I thought was against me. And what I thought was against me only served to strengthen my relationship with God. Some of y'all are in situations right now that are at the gate of heaven and you don't even recognize it. The hell you are experiencing right now is strengthening your relationship with God and with other difficult people. The Lord viewed Israel as his wife. And so he viewed worship of other gods as spiritual adultery. She had persistently ignored God's command. In the days of Jeroboam II, the situation had grown intolerable. God had been trying to speak to his people, first through the prophet Amos. The former herdsman of Tekoa thundered God's warning of imminent judgment, but the nation paid no attention. Y'all better listen to the prophet today. So the Lord, this time, through the prophet Hosea. Now here's the thing that is so strange about this. God ain't talking to Hosea until he speaks to him about this situation. The very first thing that God ever spoke to Hosea is about his future wife. Very first thing. It appears, evidently, Hosea has been wanting to get married. Is there any sisters, brothers that want to get married? Okay, you don't have to raise your hand. Just say it in your spirit. I want that. Yeah. Evidently, he'd been wanting to get married. And as a good and upright Jew, he asked God's direction. And God says something to him that don't sound like God. Go take yourself a wife of harlotry and have children of harlotry, for the land commits flagrant harlotry, forsaking the Lord. Now, I don't want y'all going taking this up like, I knew he was a scoundrel, but I'm going to have children by him so I can get close to the Lord. Don't be stupid now. This is about Israel. Now, God don't pick out the wife. He just announces what her profession is going to be. And it is the oldest profession on the face of the earth. Now, there's a controversy concerning this text amongst the scholars. Now, I'll just give you this, and you can take which one you believe. Some believe that God was commanding Hosea to marry a woman who had formerly been a prostitute. Others contend that taking a wife of harlotry were merely referred to as marrying a woman from the northern kingdom of Israel, a land that was guilty of spiritual adultery, while others like me opt for a more literal interpretation. You pointy-head intellectuals can sugarcoat it all you want to, but the fact of the matter is that she was a hoe. Bible say so. Y'all see that around right there? There we go. And so it was that Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim, became the unlikely wife of the budding young preacher. He, Hosea, was a godly man, a prophet and a preacher. Some of his associates were Isaiah and Amos, and God directed Hosea to go and marry the whole wife. Y'all ain't got to say it. I ain't going to let you say whole wife. No, you don't have to say that. Despite the fact that she was a lady of ill repute and a prostitute, yet apparently she was a beautiful woman. And Hosea did just what God told him to do. What did God tell him? He said, go love a woman of harlotry. Despite her former occupation, he fell deeply in love with his new bride and was passionate toward her in every way, providing a house, possessions, giving himself completely over to her. And Gomer seems to love him too. Gomer seems to love him too, at least for a while. And so their relationship began to blossom. Hosea loved her, but the sisters at the church despised her. And her past is chasing her. How many know that sometimes when you come out, that your past sometimes will try to chase you and tell you that you ain't where you're supposed to be? You're more comfortable over on this side. And her former lovers were always still trying to hit on her, telling her, you know you missed this. Gomer has settled into a domesticated life, but she does not have a domesticated mind because her past was beckoning her back. The new couple settled into the daily routine of marriage. He worked to provide security while continuing to preach, and she kept watch over the home. It seems his love for the former harlot had brought about a great change in her heart. And after some time had passed, they were overjoyed to have their first child, a baby boy. And God himself named the child Jezreel, meaning castaway. And despite having a good man who loved her and took care of her, despite having stuff that she previously had to work for, Gomer grew bored and restless, missing her old life of excitement and the sexual immorality that came with it. Sometimes you think, how can I ever go back to that? But the heart of man is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. She missed those expensive gifts. One man no longer satisfied her tastes, and she longed for the expensive gift that maybe Hosea needs some Viagra. No, that wasn't a problem. A baseball bat wouldn't help him. Come on, somebody. So Gomer sought them out, began hanging around with her old friends. Hey, don't go back. She began hanging out. She began a love affair with one man. Actually, the Bible says several men. Read the text when you get a chance. And she started spending a couple of days away from home, then 2 days, then she wouldn't come home for the weekend, then she wouldn't come home for a couple of weeks. And her excuses grew thin, and Hosea had to face the truth. His wife was being unfaithful to him and had dishonored their marriage vows. It was a slap in the face to the man who had only man who had ever truly loved her. Come on, somebody. Why is it that we hurt the one who really cares about us? Why is that? Then the situation got a little bit more complicated. Y'all still with me? I'll be through in a few minutes. The situation got a little bit more complicated because Gomer told him that she was pregnant again. But Hosea said, well, she ain't been in my house. So he ain't no rocket scientist. But it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out this ain't my baby. His heart was broken. But you know what? He did not throw her out of his house. He allowed her to remain there in security and provided everything she needed while pregnant. The man who got her pregnant never came around or acknowledged responsibility. Ain't that the way it is? Nigga get you pregnant. I mean, what's wrong with you? And you ain't gonna see him no more? Something wrong with that. When the baby was born, Hosea named the little girl Lo-Ruhamah, which means not pitied. As soon as Lo-Ruhamah was weaned from the breast, Gomer returned to her ways. You know what we call this? We call this a familiar spirit. The thing that we give our flesh permission to go fishing in, and the thing that we return to when we're stressed, is the thing that's going to take us out of this place. She left home, and she continued to sell her body to any man who had money or gifts. And she always ran away. Gomer, go get her. Bring her back home. She run away. Gomer, go get her again. Hosea, go get her again. Bring her home. Gomer run away. She desired the club life. She desired the high life. She desired the street life. Her self-esteem and reputation totally shattered. She preferred now the streets and the strange men over a loving husband, children, and the security of a safe home. This ain't the end of the story. Gomer got pregnant a third time. This is not the same man that got her pregnant the second time. It's not the same man that got her pregnant the first time. It's a different man. Now, you think about this. Hosea knew for sure he didn't father the child, but again, he really loved Gomer. He loved her enough to provide for her, and he gave her a place at least until she had the baby. When the baby was born, another little boy, y'all. Oh, he's so cute. And he named it Lo-Ami, meaning not my people. Again, as soon as the boy was weaned, Gomer left home. And here's what she said. This is in your Bible. This is her testimony. I will go after my lovers who gave me food and my water, my wool and my linen, my olive oil and my drink. Hosea 2 and verse number 5. Her life is a mess and she don't even know it. She wanted luxury more than the arms of a loving husband and the kisses of her babies. Finally, she left Hosea for good, never to return. Hosea just continued to preach, continued to do what was right. No doubt suffering the laughs and the taunts of men who knew his wife had deserted him. Some of them even likely had been with her sexually. No matter the culture or the era, a man is humiliated when others know his wife has left him to run around with other men. Gomer has made many wrong choices, but now she seems to be stuck on stupid. She doesn't go back home anymore. She just continues a pattern of destructive relationships, one man after another. Finally, the guy that she's with, he tires of her. I mean, after a while, your good looks start to break. You ain't going to be cute all your life. Remember I told you, when you get to a certain age and the oatmeal falls on your chin, you need somebody to pick it back up and put it in your mouth. That little young thing ain't going to do that for you. So Gomer, he kicks her out. The last dude, he kicks her out. She's in debt. She don't know how to pay it. And so they are now getting ready to auction Gomer off at the slave market. Because when you can't pay your debt, you become a slave. Now, at the slave market, for women, they strip you naked. The men get a chance to come and check the firmness of the grapes and watermelons and punch and pull. And y'all ain't saying nothing in there. How humiliating. This didn't have to be. This is a woman who was connected to a godly man. This didn't have to be. I'll have a bed. I have a bed. You know how they do that thing. Ain't nobody bidding for her. Just one man bids for her. Just one man. And you know, they have what they call a minimal bid. Minimal bid means that it starts at this amount. Apparently the place where it started, Hosea didn't have the cash for that. Maybe because he done spent all his cash over the years trying to take care of his whole wife. I'm talking about holistically now. He said, look, I ain't got all the money. He said, but I'll give you some silver and some barley wheat and some other stuff. And those three things together, he buys her back. He puts a robe around her because she's still immodest and he doesn't want people grabbing her. And he says, I'm taking you home now. He said, you will stay at home. You will be my wife. And I will be your husband. And you will not leave this house again. Now, I know that most of y'all in here are thinking in your mind, You probably think Hosea was one stupid man. Come on, be honest. If it were me, I'd given up on that relationship a long time ago. But is this not what God did for us? Did God not love us? Did God not forgive us? Did God not restore us after repeated infractions? Did we not go back and dabble in this and go back? And did God not say, I still love you? Is God stupid for loving us when we were unlovable? When we were outside the ark of safety? When we were multiple offenders? The story has great prophetic significance to the nation of Israel's relationship with God. They left him time after time to worship other false gods. But his love for them meant nothing to them, and they betrayed him over and over again. And with the eventual reconciliation of Gomer and Hosea, God desires to reunite with his people and have intimate relationship again with us. Somebody say, through Jesus Christ, all people, sinners and saints can enter into a relationship with him. You ought to clap your hands and give God praise up in here. People of God, I beg you, don't throw his love away. There's no need for you to be dragged through the gutter in disgrace. The bridegroom is reaching out the hand of redemption. The bridegroom is reaching out the hand of love to all of us. Despite our inauspicious past, he says he still loves you.
Here is to you an invitation. It is for you a celebration. This is your day. Christ Temple welcomes you. There's no mistake. You are supposed to be here, and yes, he knows all you are going through. So he's prepared Christ Temple just for you. This is the place we lift up Jesus. This is the place we share our love.
Temple Academy Daycare and Learning Center is currently enrolling children 6 weeks to 12 years of age. Our professional staff is dedicated to provide a safe, fun-filled learning atmosphere. Temple Academy offers services during the spring, summer, and winter breaks. Temple Academy also accepts 4Cs applicants and offers a child referral incentive program. Call today to transform your child's daycare experience from ordinary to extraordinary.